Adam Pally, what's going on, man?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Good.
Good to see you, man. How's
Nice
everything?
shoes.
Thanks, man. You too.
My God.
You too.
What are you wearing?
Just these cool Air Maxes I
Oh,
got.
just these. You can't get those.
You can get them.
Yeah, they're
You
like-
can get them.
What are Air Max? Are they Air Jordans or are they different?
No, they're like
No.
they're like running more like a running shoe, but you wouldn't really. These are like a sportswear running shoe.
Yeah, I go with the New Balance. I mean, I'm a big New Balance guy.
You got wide feet.
Fucking, I have
You do, right?
triple E width.
I know. I mean, my son can pretty much only rock New Balances. He's
Yeah,
got
my
these
fucking
big,
shoes
Wide feet.
big pork feet.
or
you know?
Rockports.
Yeah.
Rockports or New Balance
Yeah.
are the fucking. Everyone's been giving me the business about these
those?
old
Well,
man shoes.
oh, you picked bad New Balances.
Yes, I
Oh,
did.
Really
you
awful.
didn't say that.
They are bad.
Because I imagined like those gray ones that
Sure.
that are totally passable.
You can get New Balance that look cool.
Yeah.
I did.
But you did not.
yeah, man, you did.
Thanks.
It would actually look like
Yeah.
you wanted to not specifically not do that.
I didn't
like
realize
you had the
how
option
bad they
and you
were.
like, I
No,
won't.
it makes a lot of sense now that you reference Rockport right after.
Yeah.
Because when you lifted those up, I thought they were Rockport.
You did, right?
Yeah.
Doc Martens I used to be able to wear a lot, but they're so heavy and they're just not as comfortable.
I have one pair of Doc Martens that I've had since I was 16, and I've resold them. Like I took the Doc Marten sole out, and now it's just like a Wolverine boot sole, and I've had them, almost 20 years. They're the best.
They
They're
are, right?
Yeah, and I just think they look the coolest.
Yeah.
There's still something punk rock about them,
Well,
I
I have
can't wear it that much because I'm not punk rock like that, but like I like it.
How old is your son?
6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wide
He's already
feet.
got wide feet?
Oh yeah. He came out with wide feet.
Oh, my God.
That's
He's
the
not wide.
worst.
He's a big dude.
Because you can't just go out and buy. Any people could just go out and buy shoes because I have like a misshapen shape.
Me
Like
too.
a weird
I'm-
fat feet.
I have an odd body. I have an incredibly long torso. Like I am all
Just
torso.
shockingly long.
I have 6 feet of torso.
little
I look
legs?
photoshopped, and then I have also like a really long head.
Not wide.
It's not.
Just everything's like
It's
you
not
look
even
like you
long.
were
I look like
stretched
I was
out.
You look like you're
stretched
going
a
into a
little.
black hole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right now, I'm like the space-time continuum is like on my face. Yeah.
Are you a sneaker guy, or you just saw those and you were like,
I am. I like that. I feel like sneakers are something like culturally probably for people our age.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
you
yeah.
just.
You guys in our age group probably.
Jim, you're more that Rockport age group.
Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
you saw the way I leaned and said, "Guys, our age." Like
Right.
I
You
pointed
pointed
my
around the
gaze
room. You
right
did-
here.
I think you did the circle thing.
I'm not super psyched about it over here either. I gotta tell you,
How old are you?
I'm 36.
Yeah, it's our age group.
No, I'm 34. That's
Yeah, it's
You're
fine.
34.
I am.
He looks older, right?
No, I look terrible. Awful. Yeah.
I don't think so. I think you look great.
Oh, thanks, friend.
I think you look fabulous.
But it's getting old is terrible.
You wouldn't believe how old I am.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know because I feel like you don't age. Like I feel like I've known you at this like body and shape my entire comedy life. You know,
good.
like
he used to be much fatter.
You were bigger on like Colin Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
What was the name? Unfuckable Piggy Boy. I think that was my nickname for myself.
oh man, what
So
a name tag.
I don't know if we asked you this before. My memory is terrible
No, it's
at this
okay.
point. Did you ever do stand up? You did, or did you start?
I
as a
never
stand-up?
really did stand up. I would say I came up at UCB in like sketch and improv and that kind of like
Yeah.
it was, I guess they called it like alt comedy.
Right,
you
right,
know,
right,
it
sure.
was like I did a bunch
Jeff
of
Singer booking that room. Do you remember Jeff Singer booking the?
pianos or whatever.
No, yeah, that was the state.
Yeah.
The state guys did that. Like,
Yeah, that was like David Wayne and Showalter had a show down there somewhere, and then I
Michael
don't know all
Ian
those
Black,
guys,
yeah.
Michael Ian Black, and like I don't. So I never did stand up like that, but I was doing that kind of comedy was just different at the time, and
Yeah.
I wish I did stand up. I feel like it's too hard to start now. Like you got to do it. You got to be really bad at it and then get really good at it. And I have kids and like I'm
You don't wanna get
tired.
into-
It's
yeah.
like
You don't have time to be bad at it.
I don't have
for a
time to be
while.
bad at it, and I don't want to just do it in that way where like all of a sudden I'm like a stand up. You know,
Sure.
that feels like not
Because
me.
there is a celebrity thing too, where you could, because you've been on TV and stuff, get people in a room and get some joke writers to do it for you. You could just, but it's not really stand up.
It's not really stand up. It's like more of an appearance. But I've been doing like some live shows in New York lately that have been really fun and weird and chaotic. But it's not stand up. It's like an amalgamate. It's like improvising. It's It's mostly bits, just doing bits. Like I guess is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, look, good improv is really hard. I've said that before. It's fucking really difficult. It's either great or it's awful.
Yeah,
and,
and
really,
most
really
times
hard to
it's
do.
awful. It's and even when it's good, there is a sense of like I don't know. It's kind of corny. You know, like in the best way, in a way like you got to embrace that it's corny, but like it's dorky. It's a dorky thing to do, like improv comedy. It's only become cool in the last like 5 years when people are starting to succeed off of it.
Right.
And, like, but it's not a cool thing, you know. Like pretending to be a robot is like not cool. It's not cool.
No.
You know, and the best improvisers are the ones who do the best robots, you know, and so they're essentially like not that cool.
That's
But it's
true.
one of those things, though, that no matter what it is, if you can do something well, people will think it's cool. If you're very good at something, you can convince people that it's cool. It's the people that aren't that good or are only okay
Sure.
that really point out that this is not that cool of a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, sure. Totally. That is a very astute.
Be good at what you
point.
do.
Be
My
good at
friend
what-
Joseph D'Angelo would always say that. Be good at what you do.
And where's he now?
He's in California. He's fine.
He just was arrested. He's the Golden State Killer.
Hey, he's good at what he did.
Yeah, exactly.
He lasted a long time.
Joey D. I call him Joey D.
That's really great. Speaking of being good at what you do, I last night I was doing my my Googling of you, you know, and I was just
You make it sound like it wasn't for this show, and
No,
that
no,
it's
no,
just
no.
a thing you do.
my nightly Googling
yeah.
of Adam Pally.
He does. You Google him a lot.
I do.
Yeah,
I
it's
do.
okay, it's
Jim,
okay.
Jim catches me, you know,
Yeah.
mid-show.
I'm like,
He's
get off your phone. We know he's fine.
Yeah, everything's okay.
But I was overjoyed to view your appearance on the Shorty Awards.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
thought you did.
Yeah.
You did a fabulous job. So the Shorty Awards are like the Twitter
They're big.
awards.
They're
Yeah.
big.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I burned a bridge.
Adam went up and did. It was like 10 minutes. I
Yeah.
mean, it was a long time.
Yeah.
But just immediately from the time you got there, you were shitting all over, and not in like a fun way. In a I hate this place way.
Well,
Over everything.
I really, it's tough. Like I was really just goofing around, you know, and the vibe of the room was very loose. And right before I went on, someone was like, you know, go be funny, you know, and I was like, okay. And the funniest thing about what was going on that night was that, like, I wasn't gonna go on and do material and like. You know, and that's why they brought me in, was to, you know, be funny. And and I've seen my fair share of awards shows. Like I knew where we were in the paradigm of what was going on, you know. But I do feel bad that people whose job it is to do that stuff, and like I didn't want to. My goal was not to make anyone feel bad about their job.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't.
I'm glad you did.
but so because like there's been it's weird. It's like the internet chews you out. I didn't expect.
Did they get mad at you?
Yeah,
like the content creators and stuff.
Not only the content creators, but like multiple. There's like a bunch of negative. Like it wasn't a great thing. Like my family wasn't psyched to read headlines. Adam Pally gets kicked off of award show. You know, like, and so.
So you didn't actually not want to be there.
No,
Or did you kind of not wanna
no.
be
Look,
there?
I'm promoting a movie, and it was part of the press junket, and I knew what I was doing. Like, so a lot of people were like, "Why do you even go?" It's like, well, I went to do that. You know, that's why I was there. I went to be funny, and
Thought it'd be funny.
that,
funny.
and to
You were
me,
right.
it's funny. And I look back at it, and I go, "That is funny." The bummer of it, to me, to be honest, besides the fact that people were offended, which I really, honestly, like, did not. I was just joking around, and you can either take it as a joke or not, but I'm not gonna apologize for it. The bummer of it was that like I was one sentence away from being done,
Right.
and I think it wouldn't have been as big a story. I think it would have just been a funny bit at an award show. But if you watch it, what actually happens is the singer, she does not work for the award show. She's just a singer who won an award earlier in the night. So imagine like the internet's Kesha,
Okay.
you know, sitting at the Grammys. She sees what's happening, and she thinks she's going to run on and save the day. Because
So she wasn't sent out there by the show.
No, she did it on her own. And when she gets up there, she starts reading the copy, and she goes, "This is really inappropriate now, but we are doing an in memoriam." She didn't know that the in memoriam wasn't
It was a goof.
real. It was a goof. And so she kind of like
Made it seem like it was something it wasn't.
right, like, and so that was why I got removed, and like it was like I
Right.
was like, and that was the bummer. The whole thing was like, it would have just been a funny bit.
So was she
And-
being an asshole?
No, I don't think she's being an
So here's-
asshole. I
here's-
think she was like, didn't know. It's like
She didn't quite get what was going on.
she didn't get what was going on. She didn't get what I was doing. And she really thought that I was about to make a mockery of an in memoriam. I don't know in her mind who they were going to in memorialize.
Right.
But I was clearly joking around about the fact that they were in memorializing brands.
So what they did was they did like an in memoriam of social media sites that are no longer active, which is like MySpace and Zynga and like
Sure.
those websites. And Adam does this thing where he's like, he starts reading the teleprompter and then he's like exhausted and he goes, I don't know, we're going to do some shit where we put up MySpace and stuff and kind of made a goof on it. But as he's doing that, this girl walks out of nowhere and just goes like, they wanted me to come and save the show. And then she does the thing where she says, this is really awkward.
She goes, she says, this is inappropriate.
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 Yuck.
And so, and
Because she
Fucking
thinks we're going to an in memoriam.
she thinks in
who
her mind we're
cares?
going to an actual in memoriam. And so that was the other bummer. It's like, you can't even, I don't want to say this without being crude. And then I kind of don't want to talk about it because I don't want it like this to be I really don't want to be known as the Shorty guy. but the bummer of it is that you can't even really joke around. You can't even really do comedy in that space anymore because people can't even get they can't even get a joke.
They're so
dopes.
protective.
They're dopes. It's like they can't even see what is happening. There's
Yeah.
just like this wide eye, like there's no base level of
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah.
So you can't joke around because
Yeah.
it's all just like, floating, it's like I was just really mystified at the fact that like people didn't get it or people were like,
At one point in the middle of
know.
Adam's presentation of the award, he's like doing the whole thing, and then he just kind of stops and he's like, I know I'm up here and I'm killing. Which is,
Were
funny.
you killing?
yeah, the way I wanted to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I
Were
was
people laughing or uncomfortable?
it was a hearty amount of both.
Good.
The people that I wanted to laugh were dying. Like the Daily Show dudes and like their staff that was there and like the Queer Eye guys who I think are funny, like they loved it.
Right.
And that to me was where my barometer was because I had seen the rest of the room.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I don't care. Like
Because he goes like, I'm up here killing. And he goes, but if you guys are going to come to me and ask me to host this thing next year, it's a hard pass.
yeah,
stuff
I
like
really,
that. I
I
thought it was
really
great.
do
I
feel
thought it was
bad
really
about
funny.
it. I really do feel
Nah,
bad.
fuck 'em, they're
It's like,
terrible.
yeah,
I hate
I don't
'em.
know, man. I want to work. I got kids. I really like.
Well, I think that's the issue, right? You were trying to be funny, not like declare war.
Yeah.
yeah. I am not like I am not like the anti-brand guy. Like I love brands. I'm all branded out, man. Like
Yeah.
I love brands and I love popular culture and I'm on Twitter and Instagram. Sometimes I wish I wasn't, but I am, and so that's not me either. I was just simply doing a bit and
Right.
and this will. This will make it worse because people will be upset that I was doing what I've done right now today has made it worse. But
No.
Sorry about
it's
that.
really it's okay.
Why?
Like,
Because you said they were dopes? You're fine.
no, you said that.
I know. You agreed.
God damn it. But no, because it. I don't know. I really like. I wasn't seeking to hurt anybody.
Right.
I was just seeking a bit of comedy.
You were making fun of something.
I was making fun of something.
Yeah. It was a goof.
And I was hoping, and I know that not everybody's gonna love everything,
Right.
But I also and I know as a comic for my entire life that I shouldn't care,
Right.
But for some reason, I do feel like bummed out by it. It bums me out.
It bums you out probably because there was such a negative response to something you're doing to be funny and just being stupid about something, and then people are like, "Oh, well, that was terrible." Like,
yeah,
okay,
it's
shut
like
up.
it's just like I don't want to. Like I was getting all these nice emails from like it was the best phone day I've ever had. You know, where like names pop up and you're like, "Oh my god,"
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, "Wow," reading this stuff, and then and then the negative stuff starts to roll in, and it's just like you go, I don't know, man. I'm tired. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to just be like
at some...
the point of a think piece about, you know, creating brands and like, is it worth it to get Google alerts from like people writing articles saying that I look like I hadn't showered and like it's like
I respect that.
Is it worth that?
That's better. You show up at an award show messy and make fun of it. That's great.
Yeah, it is great. Like that's and like me, who I am, was like, yeah, great. We as security was walking out, my wife turned around and gave her the finger. But like, I love it. You know, that's who we are. It's who me and my wife are. But it also, it bums me out because I'm like, oh man, I don't know.
Well, the intention is not to like make anybody feel bad. Right?
Yeah,
like you just want like let's have a laugh at this, but like the fact that people
like
are
let's all
like,
look at this. You know, like I don't know, like Ricky Gervais goes on the Golden Globes and like eviscerates it.
He gets shit for it though too. People do come back and go, "That was mean," or like his stand-up special.
You see Mel Gibson after he did that bit with Mel.
Well, but Mel Gibson
not
can
happy.
He's
eat
transphobic. He's this. He's that.
Mel
like, you
Gibson
know.
can eat a dick.
Right. You don't mind Mel Gibson being the enemy.
No, not at all. I just turned down not a part.
Yeah.
I just turned down an audition for a Mel Gibson
Oh,
movie.
he's a good director.
And it was a good director, Joe Carnahan.
Apocalypto? Oh, come on.
Turned it down.
Really?
Yep, I don't need that shit in my life.
Doesn't it blow your mind that who can make comebacks and who can't?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you would think that Mel Gibson...
He should, because Mel Gibson is a great actor and he's a good director.
Also, people don't mind hating Jews.
You think that's...
Yeah, it's like that's one of the things people go, he's probably doesn't think that way anymore.
Right.
Right? Like we all assume now Mel Gibson doesn't think that way anymore.
That could be a temporary thing.
Right? You're like, he was drunk, he got pulled over.
Right.
Yeah. He definitely still thinks that way.
He probably does, yeah.
If you listen to any of those tapes, the way he talked to
Oksana. Yeah, but again, she was not a good singer.
No, you're right. And she needed to be told.
And in fairness, if you want your dick sucked before a woman goes in your jacuzzi, that is your right.
Sure. I guess so. No, you're and she should have been listening. But I mean, I guess that's the problem. They weren't communicating.
Right.
But I don't, who would want that shit? Like, that is some of the worst shit I've ever heard in my life. Why would anybody go near that? I don't need any of that in my life. And frankly, I'm like slightly disappointed that people are like cool with it.
You know why it doesn't bother me? Only because if there's an ugliness and it's his ugliness.
You agree with a lot of it.
No, I agree with all of it. No, but if there's an ugliness there, like it's just dumb shit that he said. There's so much ugliness in show business and in music and in hip hop and in comedy. There's so many dark, ugly secrets that a guy just being a dick. It doesn't bother me as much because if I start to worry about that, who am I going to work with? Like, there's a lot of people to work with.
Agreed. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. However, I think as a Jew, and I'm not even...
You're Jewish?
Yeah, man. I'm fucking... Hell yeah, man. Why? You're
No, but Sam had assured me of something. It's not important.
Oh, that's okay. I can still get your cousin that internship.
But no, I understand why that'd be offensive, of course.
It's not even offensive. It's just like, you know... You're right. There's so much hate and ugly shit, and it is just like a dark thing. But there's also like not that much time to waste on shit. Like it's just nasty, vile crap, and like he definitely still thinks that way. And I don't want to be on set and hear him like screaming at someone. Like I don't want to be involved in that.
If you're Jewish and you look at Mel Gibson and go, "Fuck that guy," I don't like the way he thinks. I understand that. Like that.
Yeah,
that's fair.
It's like that's it.
That's
I don't
fair.
care.
And also, you don't really get into the show business to have that energy around you, right?
No,
like you're
I don't
trying
want
to
any
make
of that.
fun stuff.
Yeah, and like the people are going to be like, the guy from the Shorty Awards doesn't want to work with Mel Gibson. But like, yeah. They're completely, they're totally different.
I would say what you did is not as bad as what Mel Gibson did.
Well, you should read some of some of my mentions.
They think maybe worse.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. People think
you can.
I bet you if you took a poll, people are so not that pissed about Jew hating that if you took a poll right now, I bet you people would say that what I did was worse than what Mel Gibson did.
So you can insult Jews, you can't insult the internet.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's so cool to insult Jews. It's like it is one of the hottest thing right now. Like,
is it?
Dude, Kanye is 2 seconds away from insulting the Jews.
Do you think that's where he's going to go next?
Yes.
Who else has insulted them publicly? Because I know that does happen. Like, who else do you think is like, well, that's fucked up?
I mean, Cardi B is one of my favorite rappers.
Right.
I think she's the best rapper to come out in definitely last year, but to come out of New York in the last 12 years.
Right.
Like, since ASAP, like, she is the best rapper. The best. First line of like track 3. My lawyer is a Jew. He gonna Jew this whole place up.
That is
He's
featured.
gonna Jew this whole place up.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like, if you, again, I always relate it to stand up because that's the only way but do you imagine that? Like, how upset people would get? But when she says it's like, oh, look, she's shaking her ass at
I
Coachella.
listened to it and was like, and I am not religious. I don't believe in the religion. I am a Jew. I am a Jew. The reason that I'm a Jew is because my family is Jewish, and I know when the shit hits the fan, they're going to come for me.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm Jewish. The first line in a major song is like, my lawyer is a Jew. And so you're like listening to it, you're like, whoa. Dude, why, what is that significance? Not that I care. And like, I really don't care because it's not disparaging.
Jay-Z's a legend and he's billionaire status.
That did not bother me.
And now he's rapping about the fact that like he's bragging that he has Jews that handle his finances.
Yeah, but
and
if you say I'm going to Jew this place up, what is that like? There's no way to
in
say,
a positive way.
In a positive way, like she's like it's the same boast. Like when she's like, I like those Balenciagas, the ones that look like socks. She's equating that to having a Jewish lawyer,
right?
You know, which is like
a good thing.
A good thing, but also. It's like a microaggression. Like,
100%.
Why are we rapping about that?
It's basically taking a stereotype that Jews love money and are lawyers, and even though you're doing something positive with it, you're still taking a stereotype that's been fucking horrible and hurtful,
for sure,
and using it
for sure. And it's so chill now.
Yeah,
it's like the chillest thing.
Well, don't
it's
forget,
like,
hip hop though. Hip hop almost never gets in trouble for what they say. There's a different standard to hip hop than there is to any other group.
Fine, that I won't argue with you on that because I think that you're probably right, and that's okay with me too. And I'm not upset at Cardi B for writing a Jew line. I love that album and I love her, and like I'm gonna take my son to see her concert when she plays with Bruno Mars.
That's awesome.
But I also am like, it's more of a societal thing where I'm like, oh, that's cool now? Because when I was a kid, that was like not cool. You could not say that. Like if someone was like, I have a Jew lawyer that's going to Jew this place up, ACLU. Like, you know, like not cool. So,
or the Anti-Defamation League. I'm surprised they haven't said anything because those guys are usually.
There's too much to worry about. How could they? Like, Cardi B is on the bottom thing and like, 20 minutes outside of Atlanta, they're burning swastikas. It's like, they don't care. It's so chill to hate Jews.
Swastika burning. It's like, do people really think they're bringing back Nazism? Like, the Nazis are just, it's a shitty ideology. Like the American Nazis are just people who think that makes them look cool.
I disagree. American Nazism is so close to happening. I've done this bit before, so I don't want you to feel like I'm like not doing this bit, but I really do believe this. That when all the apocalyptic shit eventually does happen, and like if it does go bad, I won't phrase it. It will. Let's say if it does, if Trump does lead us into that direction, purposefully or not, we end up being a thing where like the economy crashes, and they're like the Jews. Let's say that happens in America. It's not so far fetched that people have likened World War II Germany to America right now a lot. So let's say that happens. The people that will be knocking on my door and jamming on my floorboards are Sig Ep, Arizona State. 100 that you would be like, any Jews in here, bro?
I know, but that will.
That is true.
Khakis and polos?
No, not khakis and polos.
Tell me.
Surfer dudes, like, look at those tapes from Syracuse, like those dudes that are like making people wear blackface, bros. That is who is going to be like, where are your papers, bro?
But wait, hold on, let me ask you. So those guys making a dumb joke, and it was tasteless.
No, it's not though. It's
how is that different than Cardi B, who's actually reaching a lot more people?
I'll tell you how. Because there's an ideology in them to me that what we saw, that's the tip of the iceberg of the stuff that's probably going on in that frat.
There's an ingrained sort of way of thinking that's coupled with that Cardi
But
B
how is not what she's doing at the tip of the iceberg in hip hop with anti-Semitism, especially when a lot of people in hip hop embrace Farrakhan, and he's been known to be anti-Semitic. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I think Syracuse guys are dicks, but I see them as just being tasteless.
But they're violent, and like in Germany,
the Syracuse guys.
Yes, dude, they
frat?
are frat dudes are violent. They're
frat
like
guys have been violent, and the language. Is more
also like the people, the kind. It's like in Germany when that happened, everyone was like, "Who's rounding up these Jews? Like, where are all these Nazi soldiers coming from?" And what they like the Gestapo, like who? What is that? Who is that? Well, it's normal Germans who got caught up, and you're like, that could never happen,
right?
But it happens, and the people that get caught up like that, who have like tendencies already to like group around, it's like. That's what that is.
Meaning
I don't think a bunch of frat guys, though.
A lot of these frat guys would not behave the way they behaved in that video if they were on their own.
Yes.
Right.
But they're just being dicks in that video. Like in that video, they're not calling for violence. They're just they're doing things that they consider shocking and inappropriate to try to be funny. Because there's the same reaction to that people get when they're singing out loud and they're saying inappropriate words because they're singing a rap song. If a white girl is using the N-word because she's singing a Kanye song, people are like, oh, how
but I think
she?
The slippery slope argument.
That is weird. That is a tough one for me. My policy as a Jew, won't classify white as a Jew. I don't say it. I just skip it. That's like my policy. And I'm cool with whatever anybody does because music is tough and it's hard and like, but it just makes me uncomfortable when I look at video, like tape of Coachella, and it's like 100,000 teenage white people. You know, it just, I don't know why. It just does.
They shouldn't put it in the lyrics if they don't want, because it's almost like, look, heavy metal doesn't mind people who are Catholic kids singing about the devil.
Right.
So it's almost like if they don't want people to sing it, just don't put it in the lyrics. Like, that's fair.
Well, I would never, sure, I would never make a rule about it because it's like, you do whatever you want.
Right.
But I would say that everybody needs to reconcile their own way that they deal with that issue. White people.
Yeah.
You, if you like hip hop music, and I love hip hop music, it's all
I'm
I
a Fat Boys guy. That's how far back I go.
yeah. Okay, you're
Dougie Fresh and the Fat Boys.
Age is coming out.
The
age is coming out even without you trying. It's just like leaking from you. Yeah, like that's what I was raised on. That's what I love. I'm ingrained in the culture. That's all I do all day. Like my Instagram is just like music video thoughts and sneakers, and like I am involved. I like that. That's what I love. But so I feel like you have a responsibility to the culture to decide how you're going to deal with that issue.
Sure. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
However you want to do it.
Yeah.
And
like, I don't care. For me, I don't like it.
Right.
But
I think you're right about the like people looking for what's the steadfast rule for everyone. Like that's
it's like,
not
and people want that so that they can really just sing along.
But I'm more talking about the anger that, like, the outrage that comes, like when people get so upset at a girl on a Vine video, or these frat guys who are just being fucking morons.
There is a difference between the frat guys and the girls singing.
Why
in a
the
Vine
frat
video.
guys they were all laughing, like it wasn't like.
Yeah, but I think
people laughed when they like shot people in mass graves.
The slippery slope argument is if people start laughing at violent, and because they're the other.
But they weren't being violent. They were just doing dumb shit that they thought was shocking.
But there's a big. You don't
the same group of people have you drink to death sometimes or run naked and do
but
stuff.
That's bad.
But that's the point. That's the point.
Yeah,
the Cardi B does. People don't make you drink to death.
No, but Cardi B people, a lot of them are gangsters, and they're talking about shooting people.
Well, yeah, but that's their own story. I don't know. I disagree on this issue. I feel like the history of frat violence and stuff is a real like red flag when it comes to this issue of. No,
you're right. But also, Jam Master Jay was murdered. Tupac was murdered.
Yes.
Biggie was murdered.
Sure.
There's a lot of.
Yes, it's real.
They pose with gang
guns,
signs.
Yeah, and the guns. It's like I don't love that.
So they're embracing not only violence. And again, I don't mind it. I don't give a fuck.
A lot of it's where they legitimately came from.
Fair enough, but let's not pretend that the frats are embracing something worse than guys who are holding guns when half of their friends have been killed.
Well, but one seems reactionary. Like. One seems systemically reactionary. To me, the frat, it's like the gun. I don't know. I think that's just my view on it. Is that there's when I see a rapper with guns and cash, it's worrisome. but it's not as worrisome as 10 young, dumb white dudes.
And I think that's also because in deep down, a lot of people have a higher expectation of white people.
Maybe.
I think people, and that I think is extraordinarily. That's a really dangerous thing. I think
Yeah.
if we have a higher expectation of white behavior, like, oh, those white guys are terrible, and the black guys, that's what they do. I think that's really dangerous. Like, I don't hold the frat guys to any higher level. I hold them almost to a lower one because they're fucking young, dumb college kids, as opposed to a guy who's making $3 million a year. I don't mind rap. I don't care what they do.
don't
Rap,
know.
you know, rap is fine, but I don't hold them to a lower standard.
I
as
don't
people.
know. I think if there is that lower standard view, where it's like you expect more from the frat person, that you know, it's like that's a false expectations, and I don't know. It's like that's a false sense of security to be like, I feel like this is better, especially when that there's a gang mentality. Different, and I don't mean gang like the gangs of hip hop. I mean like gang thought. Like I don't know, that video where they're all laughing scared me more. It's just like put them up, and scared me more.
Don't you think that there's a difference between people who grew up with gangs around them, and it's just like I thought this was what life was, versus guys who end up going to a frat and like develop this sort of.
They're just doing what they consider shocking, stupid humor. It's shocking and it's stupid. I'm not saying anything wrong with that.
I was in a frat at the University of Arizona, which is like no joke. That's like, you know, they shut the frat down because it was like legit frat shit. And never once was anything like that even remotely. And they were like, you know, it was frat shit. You
that
know?
kind of goes to the point. I know we have to wrap up with Adam too.
I'm sorry that we got
no,
so
that's
deep
great,
today.
dude. I love it. Part of it,
But I love coming to talk to you guys. I'm sorry.
Part of it is too, though, that those words now are so frowned on that that's the shocking thing to do. Whereas 15, 20 years ago, or even when I was a kid, if you said the word, black guys would either hit you for it, or you were like, "Shut the fuck up." It didn't mean as much. But now it's like this shocking thing.
I
never
rebellion.
felt that.
Okay.
I think it's more than rebellion too. Like from that group. And now I've alienated a whole group of
No, you haven't.
fans.
I think it's you're saying what you think.
Well, listen,
Yeah,
I
that
watched.
doesn't always.
I
work out.
love it.
Doesn't.
It doesn't always work out.
I watched the movie last night,
Thank you very much.
and I'm going to tell you that none of what we've talked about
Is in the movie.
Is in this movie.
Most Likely to Murder, by the way. It's available on digital DVD and it's on demand May 1st, which is
iTunes,
this
yo.
Tuesday.
Get it on iTunes. That's the
Adam
best place.
Pally on Twitter.
I had multiple moments throughout. Like I didn't know anything about what it was, and you can't really tell what it is based on the poster or anything. I'm like, is this like a horror movie or like?
It's an old school like murder mystery.
But it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like I had multiple.
Thank you.
multiple times. It's basically a guy go. Did you film it?
We filmed it here.
Did you film it in Westchester?
We filmed it in Eastchester, which
Yeah,
is
that's
just
right.
east of Westchester.
No one talks about Eastchester. Good.
Eastchester for your is in Westchester,
Yeah, it
and I
doesn't
used to
matter.
live there.
Oh, cool.
That's
yeah.
why when like in the beginning when you started going through all
Valley
like
Street.
the,
Yeah, that's us.
It was
Yeah,
awesome.
we really wanted to make a movie here.
Yeah, it was. So it's a guy, right? He's in. He used to be the popular guy in high school. 20 years later or so, he goes back and he's not cool anymore. But then he also thinks he discovered a murder, and it's that story. It's really great. It's really good.